What's going on, y'all? It's your man Stephen Bartle coming at you with another edition of Bartle's Breakdown. Hope you guys had a great weekend. You may be wondering what I'm wearing. This is a custom suit that was made for me in Warri, Nigeria. Not Warri, I'm sorry. Where is ABU? It's not Warri, Nigeria, but it's in northern Nigeria. Andy Petty, my college teammate, hooked it up for me and Terrence Littlefield. So, and the reason why I wanted to wear it today is because they're really having some violence problems over in Nigeria right now. They had a terrible church shooting, and a lot of my friends from their hometown. I'm hoping that they didn't have anybody affected, but I'm wearing this in honor of them. So that's why, thus the different look. But I hope you guys doing well. Got a lot to get to today. We're going to talk about the Warriors evening up the series with the Celtics. We'll talk about Quinn Snyder's sudden resignation from the Utah Jazz, a little puzzling there. And then we'll talk about E.J. Liddell, former Ohio State great, is really moving up the NBA draft boards, and we'll finish updating the Fighting Illini and what they're doing in the transfer portal. So let's jump right into it. Let's see here. Let me get my things going. My man, Tony Gill, executive producer extraordinaire, he got another opportunity with, I believe it's with The Ringer. And so he's off and doing big and bad things, bad meaning good. So I'm going to miss Tony, but I appreciate his contributions and all he did for Bartle's Breakdown, because it really, really added to the show, and he really taught me a lot. Donovan Lang, Ariel 10, Meredith Evans, Jake for Kaufman, Sidekick 80, All Access Suburban Media. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope all is well. And I don't see anybody on my YouTube, not YouTube, but watch me on YouTube as well if you get an opportunity. Because, some people like to look at it on Facebook, some like Twitter, some like YouTube, some like LinkedIn, and some like IG, like my people on IG right here. So I try to give a little bit of love to everybody. So let's get into it. The Warriors even the series with Golden State even the series with the Celtics last night. It was quite a performance, and it was interesting because Golden State, if you guys don't know this, they run motion offense the majority of the time. I believe they are probably the lowest pick and roll usage team in the NBA. And if you notice in the decisive third quarter run that Golden State put on the Boston Celtics, you could tell they abandoned their traditional motion offense. They went more to a high screen and roll, high ball screen action to try to get switches. They wanted to get Marcus Smart off Steph Curry. They were able to do that because in the motion offense, the Celtics are so good defensively that they can pretty much switch 1 through 5. Marcus Smart can hold his own against any of the bigs that the Golden State Warriors would throw at him were he to switch onto them, i.e. what you saw him do to Draymond Green a couple times last night. He kind of frustrated Green when he switched out onto him. So the Celtics switching defense, the nature of their size and length was really, really bothered Golden State in game one. In the third quarter of last night's game 2 game, the Golden State Warriors did a fantastic job of abandoning their motion offense, and they went right into ball screen action. They went to more traditional plays to set up Steph to try to get Draymond a couple looks, to try to get Klay Thompson open looks. And so it was really interesting to see how all of a sudden Klay gets a couple down screens, and he gets a screen and he pops free, and he'd really been rushing his 3, but he caught a 3, released it, knocked it down. Celtics had to call timeout. Steph Curry has the ball at the top of the key. Marcus Smart is on him. Here comes Kevon Looney. He sets a ball screen. Curry comes off extremely hard. He gets David Ties in a matchup. He rocks David Ties to sleep, gets enough space on the 3, Cotton. Then it was Jordan Poole's turn to do the exact same thing. Jordan Poole now is running the point, and he's seeking out that matchup that he wants. He comes in, and I believe it was a double screen. It was Draymond Green, and I believe Kevon Looney came down. They got the switch that they wanted. Draymond occupied Al Horford and Marcus Smart, and I believe it was what's the undersized forward, Williams, Grant Williams, that switched out onto Steph, but he was just a tad bit late. Steph got off the three, and that was the game, ladies and gentlemen. So I was really impressed to see Golden State switch up what they were doing offensively because it wasn't working in game one, and they weren't having the success with their motion offense like they'd grown accustomed to seeing throughout the regular season and playoffs. Boston is an elite defensive team, so I really, really liked the adjustment. Steve Profit, good to see you. Kenny Williams, what's going on? Yeah, for those that tuning in, I'm rocking this in respect to my Nigerian family. I got this made when I was with Andy Petty up in northern Nigeria. Nigeria is suffering through similar situations as the United States in terms of a little bit of violence, a lot of violence going on, a lot of random violence in areas that had normally been kind of quiet, but now it's kind of things are acting up a little bit. So I'm rocking this tailor-made suit from Nigeria in respect for my Nigerian family over there. Hope they are doing okay. Bo Singer always Bo Singer, I'm gonna tell you guys something. Bo Singer is a Facebook member of Bartles Breakdown. He loves the Missouri Valley Conference. He is always he keeps me up on what's going on in the Missouri Valley. Evansville is getting their coaching staff. David Ragland is their head coach. Craig Snow, Marcus Wilson are the assistant coaches. Appreciate the heads up, Bo Singer. TJ Tracy, outstanding. Nice top, Steve. Oh, thank you, TJ. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I like it, man. It's tailor-made. I got a hat to go with it, but I didn't want to rock that today. Mr. Christopher Nolan, good to see you. So I was really pleased to see what Golden State was able to do to adjust their offense to try to maybe abandon their typical motion offense that usually has so much movement in it that 95% of the teams in the NBA can't stay up with them. But Boston is that unique team with that length, size, and athleticism that can switch pretty much all five positions, even when Robert Williams is in the game, because he's so long and athletic and a very underrated perimeter defender. So interesting to see that take place. Carol Pole Paquette, good to see you. Oh, yeah, it is comfy, Carol. That it is comfortable. And it's, like I said, it's tailor-made. You can see the sleeves are just right. I love this top. You know, obviously they had to open this. I had to have some things put in here for my big head because I wouldn't be able to get it over my head if I didn't be able to open it up a little bit more. But it's really nice. I got pants and a hat to match. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. So you guys didn't have much to say about the series. Let's move on. Quinn Snyder resigns suddenly from the Utah Jazz. And let me read something here that was a little bit, you know, when you see coaching changes, you typically don't see the best player say that he was unnerved by the move. So Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz says that he's surprised and disappointed that Quinn Snyder resigned from Utah. To me, ladies and gentlemen, that indicates that he had no idea. Donovan Mitchell had no idea that, you know, this was going to happen. Donovan Lane, I always got to shout my man Donovan out. Good morning, brother, over in Singapore. He says Celtics are played afraid in the third. See, Donovan and everybody, and I'll go back. I'll leave this up, but I'm going to go back and touch on the Warriors-Celtics final series briefly. If you go back to game one, Derek White, Al Horford, and Marcus Smart were something like, were they 75% from three-point land in game one? That's not going to happen often. That's just not when you have three guys that are, kind of support guys and not your main players. When they go off, I think they were something like 16 for 21 for three combined, those three players. That was the game. You're not, I don't care who you are, you're not going to beat anybody if they can shoot. If the support guys, not your main stars, but your support guys go 16 for 21 from three, you're not going to win. So it was Boston's night. I don't think Boston played afraid in the third quarter, Donovan. I just think Golden State made the proper adjustments on the offensive end that kind of confused Boston. So now their switching defense wasn't as effective, thus giving the Celtics less opportunities on the offensive end and really getting the home crowd into the game, getting them on their feet. Steph starting to throw in some bombs. Jordan Poole hit a bomb to end the third quarter, and it was off and running at that point. But I wouldn't say that the Celtics played afraid. I would say more that the Warriors made the proper adjustments, and they adjusted their level of intensity to match that of the Boston Celtics. Sid Kid 80, what are your thoughts on Jordan Poole? Jordan Poole's getting ready to get paid, ladies and gentlemen. It would behoove Golden State to be the team to pay him, but they may not be. I don't know their financial situation. I got to believe that they're kind of at the edge, but Jordan Poole's playing his tail off. I knew that he had talent. I knew that he had the shooting ability to play at the NBA level. I did not think that it would come this quickly for him. So kudos to him. Tarun Reddy, let's get back to the Quinn Snyder and Jazz situation. I always want to acknowledge my man Donovan Lane is one of the top 5 Bardo Breakdown Tribe members and a friend of mine and a fellow househead. So anybody that's a fellow househead, you all right with me. Me and you family. Tarun Reddy says, when you look at the Jazz head coaching position, how much influence do you think D Wade will have in the selection process? Talking about Dwayne Wade. Just wondering if David Fizdale would be a good fit for them. Now, Tarun, that's a interesting take, and that's a very good question. Dwayne Wade, for those that don't know, is a part owner in the Utah Jazz. So he's going to have, I don't know how much Tarun his input will have, but he'll have some input and he'll have some say in how this coaching search goes down or who they decide to bring in. Obviously, whoever they bring in, they want Donovan Mitchell to be able to sign off on it. But I think the management saw the Utah Jazz situation and just said, listen, under the current circumstances, the way the roster is set up with Quinn Snyder's approach, they just didn't see the Utah Jazz getting out of the Western Conference semis, because I believe they've been stopped in the Western Conference semis 4 or 5 straight years. Something crazy. I mean, they've gotten to the playoffs, but the Utah Jazz expect to be in the finals. They still have memories of John Stockton and the mailman, and they want to get back to that level consistently. And I think they felt like this might have been their year, but when they didn't make it work, they didn't make it happen. I think management they thought long and hard, because Quinn Snyder, this typically when teams know that they're going to make a move, they do it right after the season to give themselves time to go after different coaches. But this may have been a little bit of a surprise outside of management to have Quinn resign, because obviously Donovan Mitchell is not pleased with it. Let's see. Snyder cited the team's need for a new voice as a major factor in his decision. This is what head coach or resigned coach Quinn Snyder said to Room. At the core and what drives me every day is our players and their passion for the game, their desire to constantly work and improve, and their dedication to the team and to the Jazz. I strongly feel they need a new voice to continue to evolve. That's it. No philosophical differences, no other reason. After 8 years, I just feel it's time to move onward. Snyder said in a statement, I needed to take time to detach after the season and make sure this was the right decision. So it appears as though when I read this, Tarun, because I wanted to wait and read this with you guys to get these honest responses to what we're seeing. Following Quinn's decision, all-star guard Donovan Mitchell is feeling unsettled and unnerved while pondering the team's future without the only coach Mitchell has ever played for professionally. So, yeah, that's the only thing that they pulled up directly from Donovan Mitchell. So, Tarun, I think that David Fizdale should definitely be in the mix, and whoever Donovan Mitchell deems worthy of stepping in that position, I think he will have quite a bit of say-so in that scenario. But thanks, Tarun. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. How far are you onto your podcast? I'm about 15 minutes in, Carol. You didn't miss much. Donovan Mitchell is gone, and I believe the Jazz are going to move on from Gobert also, says a Facebook user. You may very well be right, because they've had this look. Donovan Mitchell has had this coach for 8 years, only coach he's had at the professional ranks. They've seen this iteration of what the Jazz could be, and I believe you're right. I believe that you're going to see wholesale changes with the Jazz. I believe that their fan base, if you guys are Utah Jazz fans, you probably would think that they may be a player or two away. But with a new coach coming in, can a new coach have the philosophies that fit what the Utah Jazz roster currently looks like? Is that a possibility? Those are the main questions. Belmo Sports, DJ Oviedo, 1991. Do you see Mitchell staying in Utah, or is it time for him to move on as well? Just what the Facebook user was saying, Donovan Lang, it wouldn't surprise me if Mitchell moved on. I'm sure that he was quite excited, Donovan Mitchell was, when Dwayne Wade came in as part of management, because now you've got a Hall of Fame guard, a two guard that they had similar games. In my opinion, Donovan Mitchell's game is an athletic one, similar to Dwayne Wade. I think Donovan Mitchell has similar aspirations as Dwayne Wade off the court. You know, the way that Dwayne was able to flourish in the marketing and brand sponsorships and things of that nature. Dwayne Wade, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, will go down as one of the best athlete promoters that we've ever seen. And he wasn't boisterous about it. He wasn't all crazy, but he went with these very strategic partners. He did a great job. And I think Donovan Mitchell is excited to be in that situation. That might be the only thing, Donovan Lang, that I believe that would keep Donovan Mitchell in Utah. If there's extensive conversation between Donovan Mitchell, if there's extensive conversations on what Donovan Mitchell thinks is the right fit and the right philosophy, then he probably stays. So, best place for Donovan Mitchell to land, says Belmo Sports. Sorry about that. It's such a new topic, Belmo Sports, that I hadn't really thought about it. So if you think across the board, all of a sudden, because Zach LaVine has been talked about in trade talks, do you go Donovan Mitchell for Zach LaVine of your Chicago Bulls? Would Donovan Mitchell fit in better with DeMar DeRozan and give you another option at point guard position if Lonzo Ball's bulky knee does not come back? Lonzo Ball is having some medical implications from his procedure where his knee is not healing properly. So that's your point guard. That's your franchise point guard. And there's some uncertainty about his health and his recovery. So if you're the Bulls, do you go out and get a Donovan Mitchell? Might be a good fit. But very good question, Belmo Sports. Thank you. B Houston 34, what's good, brother? Good to see you. Malcolm, the Hooper. What's up, Malcolm? Good to see you, man. Glad you could jump on. Tracy Jeep 2094. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, I think those are great questions about where could he land. But just me thinking about it, I would have to think that the Bulls could be in the mix for that. But let's see. Let me go back up here to let's see. Michael Payne. All right, here we go. Michael Payne. Draymond came out to disrupt that game and bring his version of toughness to the Warriors defensively. Golden State Warriors played the penetration kick out passing lanes beautifully on defense. Celtics couldn't keep committing close to 20 plus turnovers. Michael, great points. And I'm glad you brought up Draymond Green because you guys know I'm a Draymond Green fan and I love the guy. Is he dirty? Sometimes. Sometimes he can be dirty, like last night. Golden State was very fortunate. When Draymond Green and Jaylen Brown got hooked up and, fell into each other, all the basketball players on this broadcast today, you all know damn good and well that Draymond did not have to put his leg and shoe over the head of Jaylen Brown. Y'all know that was intentional, right? And Draymond already had a technical foul before that play happened. And boy, his ass got quiet as a church mouse because he thought he was out of there. They could have very easily teched both of those guys up. So Draymond falls, his leg hits Jaylen Brown in the head. What does any basketball player do if a leg or shoe falls on your head? You're going to take it and get it off. He takes it and he takes Draymond's foot and gets it off, and Draymond takes exception to it. And then as he's getting up, he pulls Jaylen Brown's shorts. Pulls his shorts as they have to be separated. Golden State was fortunate, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying the NBA does this because I don't know. But you know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes things happen in these playoff series that make me think they're trying to extend this series. Because if Draymond Green goes out at that point, remember, ladies and gentlemen, that was right before Golden State made their switch on the offensive end and abandoned the motion offense and went more to ball screen action. Right when that happened, that was Draymond and Jaylen Brown collided right before that happened. So if Draymond Green goes out of the game, we don't know if the ball screen action that Golden State went to in that decisive third quarter run would have worked. So to me, Golden State got a hell of a break because Draymond was supposed to be kicked out of the game. He's supposed to have his second technical on that. Ooh, Belmo Sports. Very interesting take. I don't know if I agree with this, but very interesting take. He says Draymond makes the ratings go up too. So they're going to want to see him stay. What do you all think about that? What do you all think about what Michael Payne said? And what do you think about what Belmo Sports just added, which I think is very interesting? Draymond makes the ratings go up too. So they're going to want him to stay. I mean, it ties into what I'm saying. And I'm not saying the NBA does this, but I'm just saying. Jordan Poole had to protect himself. They need Bullet back out there reffing, says Malcolm Thomas. Malcolm's referring to James Capers, the NBA official who is a really good friend in the basketball community here in Chicago. Everybody named Mama knows him. Malcolm Townsend and his family know Bullet well. Bullet hangs out with Malcolm's dad, Randall, and they're real tight. So that's who Malcolm's referring to. Malcolm Townsend, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be he's in the transfer portal. He just finished at Holy Cross, and he's rehabbing his ACL tear, and we'll see where he ends up. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I think his future in broadcast is very bright. He's got a podcast now. Check him out at where is he? Malk, M-A-C, The Hooper, THHOOPER. Check him out. He's up and coming. I'm having fun working with him. He's a sharp dude. I wish I was that sharp when I was that old. I'd be a multi-millionaire by now. If I was as sharp as Malcolm, trust me. My mind was focused on some other things that we won't get into. But those are the tribe. Y'all know what I'm talking about because I've shared my college escapades before. So, you know, there you go. Let me get this. If you want to join the tribe, the inner circle, which is Bartle's Breakdown, you can text me 312-847-2739. That's 312-847-2739. You need a villain to tune in to watch, says Sid Kid 80. Great point. B Houston 34 likes what Belmo Sports is laying down. Spencer Patterson. I think this is the first time you've been on, Spencer. If it is, welcome to Bartle's Breakdown. 2 rules. Keep it clean, keep it respectful, and don't bring that weak shit to the hole. Because we come strong here on Bartle's Breakdown. We love strong opinions. We love debate. We are not disrespectful on this platform. But if you come weak, you might leave with your feelings hurt. So welcome and enjoy the ride. I agree with Belmo Sports regarding the league needing Draymond for ratings. Not a huge fan of Draymond, but I get it, says Donovan Lane. Well, you know, a lot of people aren't fans of Draymond, but he's a winner, right? He's a flat out winner. You can say what you want to, but the guy wins. So it doesn't appear, let me go back to the comments. It doesn't appear like there's a whole lot of interest in Quinn Snyder. It was something that was really kind of quick too, just kind of came out of nowhere. So we can move on from that topic. And the next up, yes, Belmo Sports. Draymond recently started a podcast too. So we went on and off the court for sure. I'm going to say this real quick before I get to the next topic. Did you guys see that CJ McCullough signed with ESPN? So you basketball players, follow Malcolm Townsend's example, because I'm going to explain something to you. The former players on ESPN's platform, on the basketball side, the NBA side, the most recent hires and the most recent people that they're bringing in all have their own podcasts, all of them. So the first one that started working with ESPN, who has his own podcast, is Kendrick Perkins. A lot of people don't know that Kendrick Perkins has his own podcast. He's been doing it about as long as the Knuckleheads, Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles, the Knuckleheads podcast. Kendrick Perkins had been doing his with Rashad Patterson, I believe, as long as Knuckleheads. Then Up in Smoke, Matt Barnes, Captain Jack, Steven Jackson. Now, Matt Barnes is a regular on ESPN's daily NBA show, and sometimes he's in studio. JJ Redick busts on the scene and does an excellent job. JJ Redick is one of the better analysts that I've seen newly come into the field. But why is he so good? Because he's got his own podcast. Kevin Durant, The Boardroom. Draymond Green has his own. CJ McCullough just got hired to a multi-year deal for ESPN. He's got a very successful podcast. That's the cheat code, ladies and gentlemen. So you young ladies and you young men, if you're playing and you want to get into sportscasting, you want to be a game analyst, you want to be a studio analyst, start your own podcast. Because now you got a body of work. You're comfortable on the air. You know pacing, you know dramatic pauses. You learn all this stuff when you do your own show. So thanks for that. All right, next topic. I'm really excited about this and very happy to see this. Former Ohio State great E.J. Liddell is moving up the NBA draft boards rapidly. So there was an article on CBSSports.com today that detailed the interest that E.J. Liddell is having. And one of the things why his timing was so great, like last year, he put his toe in the water, right? And he was testing the waters, and he got some very good feedback. So he came back to college, worked on his game. But think about the timing of this, ladies and gentlemen. Who's killing it in the NBA right now that are quote-unquote undersized fours? Grant Williams, Boston Celtics, Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors, and why am I Miami Heat? He's with the Milwaukee Bucks last year, won a championship. His name, I don't know why I'm blanking on this dude. PJ Tucker. There it is. So when you look at 3 of the 4 teams that were in the NBA Final Four this year, 3 teams have a player very similar to EJ Liddell. So not only was he smart to come back to Ohio State because all of his numbers improved across the board. He averaged like close to 2 blocks a game. He's 6'7", 244. Grant Williams is 6'6", 235. Draymond Green is about 6'6", 235. PJ Tucker is 6'5", 220 or so. So EJ Liddell is bigger than all those guys, but he's got a similar skill set. Now, defensively, he can get exposed right now. That's an area that he's really going to have to improve on. But he's 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. Look, in the NBA, your length is more important than your height sometimes. The NBA loves length. So you got a 6'7" guy with a 6'11" wingspan. So not only did his points per game improve over his 3 years at Ohio State, he went 6.9 his freshman year. He went 16.2 his sophomore year. He was 17.9 this year. His rebounding numbers went up. His assist numbers went up. His effective field goal shooting percentage elevated. And so now he was quoted as saying he didn't want to settle. Think about that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. The conventional wisdom among players that want to enter the draft early, if they come back to school, they think they've settled. Not they think they've settled because they leave too early and not be ready. Shows you the kind of young man he is. So I'm really, really happy for EJ Liddell and the fact that he's able, it looks like that he's not going to make it past 20 in the draft. He'll go like early to mid 20s in the NBA draft in the first round. And the aforementioned, I believe Grant Williams was right at the end of the first round for the Celtics. Ironically, PJ Tucker and Draymond Green were both 35th pick in the second round of their respective drafts. So EJ Liddell, just that decision to come back another year because he went to the G League showcase last summer, and EJ Liddell's much better system guy. He's not really they had him sitting in the corner shooting threes, just run in the corner and shoot threes. He had never done that. So he wasn't going to look good in that scenario. Comes back to Ohio State, does extremely well. His vertical is he has a 35-inch standing vertical. That's the highest among power forwards that are tested in this year's draft. So he's got ups. And with a 6'7", 6'11" wingspan. And his jumper will get better. But I can really see him being a Draymond Green with way more offense because EJ Liddell can score. I see him being more like Grant Williams with a little even more offensive ability there. But the fact that he waited should be a case study that the NCAA and the Big Ten run over and over again to these players. Just say, hey, guys, we don't want you to not go to the NBA. We just want you to be ready. And what's wrong with being the big man on campus at Ohio State? Are y'all kidding me? Have you ever been to Ohio State University? As they say, the Ohio State University? It's off the chain. It's one of the largest universities in the country. Columbus is a really, really nice city. Very underrated city. So you've got the largest city. Most folks don't know this. Columbus is the largest city in Ohio now. It's larger than Cleveland and Cincinnati. So Ohio State's right in the middle of Columbus, Ohio. It's a great institution. It's a great basketball program. And you're a big man on campus? So you're going to put your name in early and possibly not get drafted, not make a team, maybe you have to go to the G League and really fight and scrap and scrape without a lot of guaranteed money? to now he goes back to Ohio State. He's a big man on campus. Come on now. Y'all know what comes with being the big man on campus, right? I mean, I wasn't the big man. I was a known man on campus. I wasn't the man on campus. And man, if I had to go back and do it again, I'd do it again 24 times in a row. Shoot, think I'm playing? I ain't. So kudos to him. Kudos to EJ Liddell for doing his thing. Ooh, Lauren Foster. What's up, Coach Foster? Lauren Foster says Fizdale, Sam Cassell, or Mark Jackson would be a great answer in Utah. Interesting. Andrew Eisfeld. Andrew, run your own show, man. I'm gonna get to the Illini. Yeah, you can run your own show. You can start and talk Illini all day. I'm gonna get there. Oh wow. Carol Paul Paquette says, wanted to put this out there before I forget. Today I read where the Phoenix Suns took the Mavs lightly. Yes, the Mavs haven't won against the Suns for some time. Teams which get too cocky end up getting bit in the behind. No doubt, Carol. That's interesting. I didn't read that, but I'll go back and check that. That's pretty interesting. I didn't hear that. Oh, okay. Let's see. Matthew Long Jr. Good to see you, Matthew. Good evening. I met you at the Yard House a couple weeks ago. I was the cool dude that went to U of I. Great insight. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you joining Bartle's Breakdown. Hope that you join the page. Hope that you go to Bartle's Breakdown group and be a part of the inner circle that is known as the tribe. You can go to Bartle's Breakdown group on Facebook, or you can text me to 312-847-2739. I also have an email newsletter that goes out every we're probably doing once a month right now because we're in the off season, but newsletter to go out once a week during the regular season. So if you want to join the newsletter, send me a direct message and I'll get you all hooked up. All right, let me go back to the comments and see who we got here. What's up, Dale Terry? Good to see you. Salute to everyone. Matthew Long. I think I hit a chord with a Bulls fan. Levine would be crazy to leave on all that money on the table in Chicago. They can pay him the most. Yeah, but can Chicago trade him? Does Chicago have does Levine have a no trade clause or a clause where he's got to accept the trade? Because Donovan Mitchell makes things interesting. If he doesn't want to come back to Utah, believe me, the phones were burning up last night when that ticker came through that Quinn Snyder resigned from the Jazz. So it's going to be interesting. I know it sounds crazy. Levine would leave Chicago or whatever, but stranger things happen, ladies and gentlemen. And the Bulls have shown they're trying to win. They don't care. If they feel like they can upgrade at a position, they're going to do it. Karnasovis, he's doing his thing. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Steve Provis says the Big Ten looks good on Golden State. Talking about Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. Two guys that shouldn't be teammates, a Wolverine and a Spartan, but they're doing quite well together. Okay. Now, see, here's something that maybe there's been this comparison, but Dale Terry brings up a good comparison. He says Draymond is like Dennis Rodman, playing hard and physical. Now, Draymond is an excellent defender. I've not heard him compared to Rodman, but that's interesting because I believe that's there's some accuracy there. Rodman was obviously taller and way more athletic than Draymond, and might have been even stronger than Draymond, even though Draymond is strong. But Dennis Rodman was a freak. But there are similarities, so that's good stuff. Zach, the Off the Glass podcast, what's good? Can't teach length. That's right. MT Wall 71. Thanks for joining. What do you think about Alonzo Verge's draft chances? I haven't looked at the draft board in a while, Donovan. But I think Alonzo Verge could play in the league. I don't think there's any question about that. But a guy like him probably needs a certain situation. And Alonzo Verge is going to have to live in the weight room. He's a lot stronger than he looks, but he's going to have to get even stronger at that next level because I don't know that his body, if he got consistent minutes over an 82 game season, Donovan, I don't know that his body would last that long. That's just me. Herb Jones, second round pick for the Pelicans, incredible value in the second round, says Zach, the Off the Glass podcast. No doubt, Zach, I agree with you. The theme for the Bulls management team says Sid Kid 80. Bad boys move in silence. That's right. And you're exactly right. Bad boys do move in silence. Okay, Carol Paul Paquette says, oh, yeah, Steve Javie last night said the officials know Green had a T, so they will try anything not to give him another T. Exactly, Carol. And I like that. I mean, I like that because you want to keep – people don't tune in to watch referees kick people out of the game. But that was a unique scenario, ladies and gentlemen, where you put your foot and your leg on somebody's head, they move it off, and then you push and grab his shorts as you're getting up. And they call it BS. Oh, man, they call so many flagrant fouls. Oh, on stuff that shouldn't be called. Flagrant one or hate it. But I get it. And you all are very, very knowledgeable in bringing these points up, and I appreciate it. I just don't like I don't like the way the game is officiated. That's all. Ain't nothing wrong with letting the boys play. It's playoff basketball. Exactly, Belmo Sports. But when you put your leg and your foot on somebody's head and then you grab their shorts and you're in their face after you've had a technical foul, to me, that deserved a boot. And I love Draymond. One of my favorite players to come through the Big Ten that I've ever covered. But I'm an analyst, and so I call what I see. I don't have allegiance to either Boston or Golden State. I don't have an allegiance to either team. I love watching both of them because they're fun to watch for their respective approaches. So, but you're right, Carol. You're right. Steve Prophet agrees with me. He says Draymond should have been gone. Okay, Carol Paul Paquette says Green sort of reminds her of Dennis Rodman as well. So I see that. Let's see. Steve Prophet says EJ Liddell should move up. Can get his shot off anytime, anywhere. And see, that's a good point because a lot of people think that EJ can't get his shot off because he's 6'7". His release is a little slow, but he gets it so high you can't block it. And now he's lighter, he's more athletic, and he recorded 28,000 shots at his workout facility between the time that he finished at Ohio State and started working out in Santa Barbara to the time that he came back, that he went to the pre-draft combine. He 28,000 shots. So this kid works his tail off. And I think that he's going to do well, Steve. And Steve Prophet knows Steve trains, has been training basketball players for forever. So he would know. Yeah, Carol Paul Paquette. Kendall's arms are longer than his height. Kendall was 6'5", but I think his wingspan was like 6'7" or 6'8". So very good observation on your part, Carol. Carol Paul Paquette says, glad EJ went to the NBA because he killed the Illini. Yeah, he was an Illini killer. Most players that play in the state of Illinois, I think a lot of them sometimes they grow up wanting to play for the state institution, but whether the coaching staff is on them early enough or there might have been a coaching change when EJ was coming into the fold and the staffs didn't quite pick up on him quickly enough. This happens a lot. And so whenever a player that's from the state of Illinois comes back to play the University of Illinois, they usually give him fits. And EJ Liddell was certainly an Illini killer. Raphael Davis, what's up? What's good, Raphael? Former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Good to see you. I got to get you on, Raphael. We got to talk some of these playoffs and some of these adjustments. Raphael does a great job. A teammate of mine at Big Ten Network. Check him out. Kimberly Taylor, New York's finest. Good to see you. Thanks for always checking in and the support. They could do a sign and trade with Levine. That's what I think. I was your son's AAU coach his freshman year of the Bulls Academy. Okay, Zach. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for giving me a heads up. I remember you now. Good to see you. So let's see. All right, Matthew Lane says, LeBron and Kyrie didn't win that title in Cleveland if Draymond didn't get suspended for that game. Fast forward to Sunday, the refs thought better to let the players decide the outcome. Okay. Good point, Matthew. Good point. I got the wrong banner up. I don't want to say thank you for watching because we're not done yet. We got one more topic, it looks like, that we want to get to. And last topic, Fighting Illini, add Matthew Meyer to the mix. Matthew Meyer, hope I'm saying his name right. Matthew Meyer is a 6'9", 6'10" forward for Baylor. He's already got a national championship under his belt. He's kind of feast or famine from the three-point line, but he's athletic, man. Big Ten doesn't have players like this. Generally, Big Ten doesn't get those Big 12 or Big East athletes who are a little bit longer, a little bit more rangy, a little bit more athletic at the 2, 3, and 4 spots. Like the Big Ten does a good job of getting bigs and power forwards because Trace Jackson Davis is really a power forward. EJ Liddell, really a power forward, undersized power forward. But Matthew Meyer is a heck of a get for the Illini because, everybody's worried about Kofi Cockburn, the Illini Nation, worried about Kofi Cockburn leaving. But if you look at a sample lineup, not only do they get rid of Kofi Cockburn and his production, which was massive, but I think Brad Underwood would prefer to play a lot more up-tempo. So now, exit Kofi Cockburn, enter Dane Danger, who was at Baylor to start. He had some health situations, transferred to Illinois. He was at Illinois the whole season. So they're working on his body. They're working on his conditioning. And so imagine Dane Danger at the center position. You got Coleman Hawkins, who could play the 3, 4, the 5. You got Matthew Mayer, who could play the 3 and the 4. That's 6'10", 6'10", 6'11". Then you can do whatever you want on the guards. Shannon, R.J. Melendez, Luke Goody, Sky Clark. I mean, the guards now, the Illini they're young, but they got some studs at the guard position. Sincere Harris, and then the other kid from Thornton may see some time immediately. And his name escapes me. Kind of like like a 3-and-D guy at the NBA level. It's like a 6'6", 6'7" guy, but an elite defender already. His offense is still a little bit raw, but he plays hard. So the Illini, man, I'm telling y'all, everybody's salivating because Trace Jackson Davis came back to Indiana. And yes, Indiana's going to have a whip because they basically got their whole team back, right? Xavier Johnson, Race Thompson, Trace Jackson Davis, Tamar Bates, Parker Stewart, ironically transferred back to UT Martin, where he came to Indiana from. So he left, but I believe Miller Kopp is still in the mix. So the Big Ten is going to be interesting. The odds-on favorite preseason will more than likely be Indiana. But if folks don't have Illinois in the top 3, they're making a big mistake. Because Matthew Mayer changes Matthew Meyer. I'll get it. I'll get the correct pronunciation before I come back on here again. But he adds another dimension that a lot of Big Ten teams don't have. And so here's an example. I'll give you an example. Matthew Mayer is not as talented as Keegan Murray, but think Keegan Murray type. Can post up, can beat you off the bounce, can definitely shoot the 3, and is a tough defender. He's a better defender than Keegan Murray ever thought about being. So this guy is a huge difference maker. Carolina was on him hard because if you recall, Brady Manick Carolina went and got Brady Manick from Oklahoma, and he was a big piece for them getting to the national title game. So North Carolina was trying to do the same thing, going to the Big 12, get a wing stud, get a power forward stud. They were right there. It was Illinois, North Carolina, and Mayer chooses Illinois. Huge get. Okay. Let me see what we got. It lit up. Comments lit up there. Let's go to the comments and see. Thomas Dagley says, "Go Illini. This coming season is going to be very exciting." I agree. Dale Terry, go blue, Michigan. I heard that. What's up, Kataka? Kataka, did you get a new job or something? I think I saw a post where you got a new, or was it? It might have been your birthday or something. It may have been your birthday. Happy belated birthday. But if you did get a new job, congratulations. But always good to see you on air. Smoke _100. JZ188. Thanks for joining, guys. I think this is your first time on. If it is, welcome to Bartles Breakdown. 2 rules. I said this earlier. We had a new person on earlier. Be respectful. Be kind. We have lively discussions, but we don't go at each other's necks. We're respectful. And don't bring that wee shit in the paint. If you come on, come strong, or don't come at all. We won't make you feel bad. Well, we might make you feel bad, but we won't do it in a disrespectful way, if you know what I mean. So welcome and thank you for joining. Carol Paul Paquette, Matthew Mayer doesn't look like a D1 basketball player to me, but man, does he make huge plays, especially in crunch time. I think she's talking about maybe his build and his hair. Mayer's got a old school mullet. So he kind of trims it on the side. He's got a little top, and he runs down maybe almost to his shoulders. So he's got an unusual look, but the dude can hoop. The dude can definitely hoop. Okay. The birthday, Kataka's twin girls' birthday was recently too. So happy belated birthday, Kataka, to you and your beautiful twin daughters. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Okay. So Kataka Gillespie likes Mayer because he was his guy when Baylor made the run in the tournament. So a lot of people familiar with this and seem to be very happy. Do you think Ty Rodgers will start for the Illini? I feel like since he left Michigan, he had it in his mind he would start. Maybe wrong. Ty Rodgers is the kid I was referring to, the 3-and-D player, very physical, a little undersized, but he's kind of a Draymond Green type in terms of physical, loves to take the opposing team's best player, gets downhill, loves contact. Ty Rodgers he could definitely start because he's got that kind of competitive fire that Brad Underwood loves and demands from his team. Illini will be ranked top 5 in the country if the freshman guards play without turnovers. The defense will be number 1, I think, says Steve Profit. I tell you what, that's a tall order. You get freshman guards and not have turnovers. I mean, there was an outstanding freshman guard in Illinois named Andre Corbello. He was outstanding, but boy, that joker was turnover prone, wasn't he? But yeah, we'll see. But that's a tall task. Thomas Dagley says, hold on, let me hide this. Thomas says, Jackson Davis has one move, left hand only. Yeah, that's true. Dominique Wilkins had one move, right only, and he's top 75. Sometimes, Thomas, these guys are so talented, it may not matter. Dave Crosby, can the Illini add Pete Nance? Dave, I don't see. Here's the thing. Before Matthew Mayer comes into the mix, I think Pete Nance from Northwestern was in play. Pete Nance and Ryan Young went into the transfer portal from Northwestern. Ryan Young ends up at Duke, believe it or not. So think about that. Ryan Young battled Big Ten bigs for 3 or 4 years at Northwestern, and he goes in transfer portal and he ends up at Duke. That's a heck of now that's a transfer portal for your behind right there. But Pete Nance, also from Northwestern, is in the transfer portal. The Illini were looking at adding him to the front court. But hey, Pete Nance and Matthew Mayer, I take Matthew Mayer. So I don't think Pete Nance is. I don't think he's in the mix anymore, Dave. But thank you for bringing that up and thank you for joining. Always appreciate you being on. Let's see. Oh, you talking about Kentucky? You're talking about Coleman Hawkins. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, he brings a lot of energy, and he's gonna do well. He's gonna do well. All right, y'all. So looks like that'll do it. I went through the comments. All right, so it looks like that'll do it for this edition of Barlow's Breakdown. The Tribe gave me heat over this some time ago, but how do you think the owners will approach the collective bargaining agreement? Well, you should get heat, Diamond. That's what it's all about. But it's the kind of the heat that you're going to get on Barlow's Breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. If you become a Tribe member, that's the kind of heat you get. Is like when a family member heats you up. It might sting a little bit, but you know we love you. So so you might get stung a little bit. It's going to be interesting. Collective bargaining agreement is going to be interesting. I've heard Adam Silver talk about shortening the season. You know, they want to get this mid-season tournament in. They want to do a lot of different things. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to take a lot of coordination between the Players Association and the owners to get this done. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a strike. I'll be surprised if it's one. I don't think, no. They're not going to strike. The NBA is too popular, making too much money. Those guys can do, all they need to do is a quick internet research, about 10, 15 minutes of research, and they'll see Latrell Sprewell complaining that he couldn't afford his lifestyle once those NBA checks stop coming. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, I think NBA players are smarter now, but there's still too many of them that could live paycheck to paycheck. I know that's hard to conceive, but some of them still live paycheck to paycheck. So I doubt there's going to be a strike. I surely hope not. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, let me ask you a question real quick. See your guys' comments on this. Because you guys, especially the Tribe members on Barlow's Breakdown, you guys know that I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this about 5.5 years. Really got serious about a year ago. And I've invested money. I've invested money in training. And one of the things that I'm think I'm going to move towards with Barlow's Breakdown is it's like Patreon, but it's not Patreon. But the Barlow's Breakdown Tribe was a test to see how many people want to get a little bit further into some of the things that I have to offer. And the Barlow's Breakdown group is like that as well. And I got a really favorable response from it. So you guys really quickly that is still on here, because I know the Tribe members are still on here. Let me know what you think about me adding a $9.99 per month or a $5.99 or $4.99 per month situation where I give you guys a specific video based on your request on a weekly basis. So you're inside of this group and you're paying this per month. Plus it helps me offset the cost of bringing you this quality content. If you're in this group, one of the things you'll get is a tailored video for the question or the comment or whatever that you want to have expanded upon. That will be a part of the group, as in addition to some other surprises, like tickets to games, things of that nature. Because I got to get my Tribe members, I got to really give them a lot more value, because you guys have been rocking with me since day one, and I love all of you. And so I want to make this profitable for me, and I want to make this of value to you, because the main thing that I want you guys to take away from your time with me on Barlow's Breakdown is that you feel like your time has not been wasted. You feel like you got some value, not from me just talking, but from the Tribe members chiming in with great comments and knowledge, and you guys on IG as well. Alfred Williams 71, thanks for joining in. So shoot me a comment. Let me know what you guys think with adding that tier, because that could get really deep and it would be really neat to have that group. So let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. For those that aren't on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, check me out on YouTube. Check me out on Twitter. This one went out to Twitter. I usually don't do Twitter, but I'm going to start doing it again. But give me some feedback and let me know where you're watching the show from, because I want it to bring the ultimate level of value to what you guys are doing. Okay, Dave Gertzmeyer, thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to take your feedback and I'm going to go through and check it out, and let's see what happens. But I can't thank you guys enough. We've gone on. Man, we've been on for an hour, and it felt like 5 minutes because of the love that you guys show. So thanks for joining and tuning in as always. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, holla, y'all.